Welcome back to the Dropbook Murphys. I'm Jackie, the sarcastic black cat.
And I'm Rob, the goofy golden retriever.
And we're here to talk all things books. And as a reminder, this podcast is rated R, considering the book that we're covering is also rated R, including violence, intimate scenes, and everything in between. So, no little ears.
It gets spicy.
Definitely. And another reminder, this is in a book club format. So we are only going to be covering the chapters that we covered last time, 1 through 13. We'll refer back to them, but we won't be covering them today. And we will be covering chapters 14 through 30, but we won't talk about anything past that. So you're safe.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. That's right.
Yeah, Jackie's going to give us a recap of the current chapters coming up.
Here we go. This one is a little bit longer than last time, so bear with me. We open chapter 14, finally making it to land. We find Odessa searching for the Guardian for once, and we see him with the High Priest, in which Odessa can feel their magic. So many questions are already swirling around in Odessa's mind, including the Voster's involvement in the Shield of Sparrows. We meet a new person named Tilia. Odessa questions Xavier about his lack of speech. Chapter 15 starts with us riding through the forest. Odessa is trying to hone her spying skills by looking at all landmarks and things of interest that she believes her father will be interested in throughout the forest. We learn of one of the feared monsters, the Grizzer. The thick banter continues from the Guardian, directed towards Odessa. Jocelyn and Odessa ponder the fact that they traveled all that way and they believe that it's just to get them off the trail, to not really lead them to anywhere and get them thinking they don't know where they are. They just don't trust them. In chapter 16, Odessa questions who Brielle would be snuggling in her dreams. She thinks back on the fact that she's never really had friends, just a lot of fake acquaintances. Everyone is deliberately keeping the fact of Elasaria out of the conversation. Odessa is realizing the similarities Xavier and the Guardian's appearances. Her curiosity always gets the best of her, and she wants to check out what the Grizzer really looks like up close and personal. Chapter 17 starts with another round of training between Odessa and the Guardian. This intensifies, and the Guardian's constant quips are off the charts. Odessa contemplates the real idea of having to take a human being out if need be. We finish the super intense and emotional training with Prince Xavier finally putting his foot down and declaring Odessa has trained enough, to the disdain of the Guardian, who really wanted to continue. We end with Xavier needing to set forth in the morning for business in Paris. This is with an E, not an AR. Chapter 18 starts with Jocelyn, Brielle, and Odessa trying to remember what real beds feel like. The woods are littered with sounds of monsters and soldiers. Odessa reassures Brielle and Jocelyn that she believes the Turans will keep them safe from danger. The Guardian took on a Grizzer alone, leading to chants and cheers from the surrounding onlookers and villagers. Odessa sees an intimate moment between Tilia and the Guardian, assuming a relationship there. Chapter 19 kicks off with a memory of Odessa being poisoned by a scullery maid, but she survived, and no doctor could really discern how, considering the high poison content. Another long day of riding through the forest, leading to what feels like nowhere to Odessa. A barrage of thoughts swirled through her mind, including the desire to get off of this horse and map out the roads traveled. Tilia then shows great affection towards a soldier, shutting down all the thoughts she previously had of her and the Guardian. Odessa ponders love and what it would mean to really feel it. Our new place to land, Treehouse Town. The Guardian ends this chapter with an interesting line of questioning and letting Odessa know she will visit Elasaria when Xavier can trust her. In chapter 20, Tilia downloads Odessa on all things happening inside Trio. With mention of a library, she is highly intrigued. Odessa spots a joyful little girl, and it reminds her of how much she really misses her baby brother. The chapter concludes with the Guardian forever razzing Odessa on her stamina during training. Chapter 21, a good old I hate trio escapes Odessa's thoughts due to torturous training sessions that have ensued. The hatred for the Guardian continues on for our ever contemplating female main character. We meet two new residents of Trio, Mariette and Kathleen. We learn of the little library and how the little ones in the wilds learn. When seeing a book on Quentis, it is riddled with words like liars, thieves, and traitors, much to Odessa's surprise. We end with another monster sighting, a lion wick, and the Guardian letting it live for this brief time while he had matters to attend to. Chapter 22 starts with Tilia offering to train Odessa for the day while filling her in that the monsters maintain a balance in the wilds. It is a balance between people and monster. Important to note. Odessa questions whether all of the monsters are inherently bad. It's made note of again about Odessa's eyes being different. The Guardian comes barreling in and everyone is on edge, leading to the reveal of the King of Tura, causing major issues throughout Trio. In chapter 23, Odessa grapples with the idea that normalcy and predictability just do not exist in the wilds. Daily training continues with Tilia, getting more intense by the day. Odessa learns spying isn't an easy game to play. Both the Guardian and Xavier have been missing for a week. We learn a little background information about Tilia and Halston. The Guardian returns and takes over training, leading Odessa to question why she is so happy that he returned, what that might mean. We meet Evangeline, making Odessa question if she is the Guardian's daughter. Xavier returns and Evangeline shouts Papa upon greeting him, shocking Odessa and also answering her previous question. A confused Odessa forces conversation in chapter 24 with Xavier about Evie. He explains that many do not know he has a daughter and he wants to keep her out of the court life. Odessa expresses the desire to get to know Evie better, in which Xavier agrees. Odessa lands the most awkward kiss ever on Xavier's cheek, in which she agonizes over directly after, where the Guardian is waiting to interrogate her with more personal and prodding questions in her room. Sounds familiar? In chapter 25, we see that Evie definitely has her papa wrapped around her finger. We learn that Xavier is leaving yet again and has a powwow with the Guardian where Evie tells Odessa that Xavier fights sick monsters in his travels. Brielle fills Odessa in on some eavesdropping she's been hearing at late night bonfires, in which Odessa's never been told about. She's pretty upset about that. She's been that there are sick humans and men have gone missing. Odessa realizes that she will never learn more about Alisaria while trapped in Trio, so she plans to get out somehow. Chapter 26 opens with Jocelyn warning Odessa of the dangers of trying to leave Trio. Odessa's internal monologue has her wanting to breathe free of all the chains and just be her. Everyone left, so Odessa sets her sights on a town called Ashmore. She stows herself away in a supply wagon as a handmaiden in disguise with the help of Brielle. Making it to Ashmore, and of course, the first person she sees while in hiding is the Guardian. While he is seemingly distracted by a local blonde woman, Odessa heads to the inn to book for a night, finding the Guardian upon entering her room. Starting chapter 27 with the Guardian's angry silver eyes sets the tone. His anger over her safety jars her, and he explains that Tura is far more dangerous than Quentis. He demands that she sit still when they return to Trio tomorrow, and she says no, something she's never really done before. In her anger, she states she won't agree to just anything anymore. Trapped, and she wonders and the Guardian wonders, why didn't she just ask if she wanted to go discover a new area? The Guardian lets Odessa know he's well aware that she has red hair and he isn't easily fooled. They end up sharing the booked room, her pushing any lust thoughts about the Guardian far, far down. In chapter 28, Odessa ventures into Ashmore to gather any info that she can. Kathleen shows up and tells Odessa even if the Guardian is overbearing, it's best to listen to him as he's sworn to protect her. Huh? Kathleen explains the migration tunnels that were utilized during the Crux devastation. She also fills her in that Ramsay makes terrible choices, from burning the books a few chapters back to withdrawing soldiers, to the detriment of all those who live in Tura. The chapter concludes with Beowulfs entering into Ashmore. Kathleen and Odessa run for their lives and to kick us off chapter 29 while a gray haired resident is in the sights of the Beowulf, unable to be helped, according to Kathleen. The woman was dragged inside to safety, while the wolf locked one eye on Odessa to hunt and take out. The Guardian tells them to run while stuck outside fending off 7 monsters. As if drawn to Odessa, the Beowulf comes after her and kills the blonde in attempts to get to Odessa. She tried everything to save the Guardian's life from inside the house. When saving Odessa's life yet again, green blood spills from the Guardian's last target. She questions killing the Guardian, with him asking and pleading for her to do it, but she can't make that choice. In chapter 30, Odessa is haunted by the names of those who died in the Beowulf attack, thinking it's her fault. A drunk guardian and Odessa discuss Soraya, the woman killed, and the guilt is terrible weighing on her shoulders. The guardian blames the monsters, not Odessa. When she questions what was wrong with those monsters, why were they going so hard, he whispered in his sleep, Lissa. Whew.
Jackie, I don't know how you do that.
It's,
That's like an A+ of reading. Like
thanks.
that is your subject: reading and writing and English.
Arithmetic.
Yes. Just yes, all of that. You have all of that. I have none of that.
Yeah, you provide the nice back and forth. You know?
I guess
Yeah.
we have good chats, and that's why we're doing this.
We do. And so you have been doing a dual. You've been listening and reading, correct? Is that correct?
I have, because I do love to read, but I don't have that much time currently.
Yeah.
So I actually, started listening to some of it.
How's
while
the
I'm at work.
narration? Good?
It's good.
Yeah.
I didn't expect their voices
Yeah.
like they are on the audio.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun. Sometimes I do like the audiobook sometimes.
Yeah.
But I do like a book because I feel it more. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, books and audiobooks hit different. Like, I love that it's accessible to everyone, but sometimes, like, you want to eyeball read, and sometimes you want to do a duel. I did a duel with Onyx Storm, and it was, like, really helpful to me because there's a lot going on in that. But anyway, let's dive back in to all of those chapters we just covered, because there's a lot that was said throughout.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, so we're heading back to just arriving on land.
We made it. We're getting off this boat.
And we have a quote from Jocelyn. If I never set foot on a boat again, I'll die a happy woman.
and Odessa also is like, yeah, but we're going to go home, We're going to get back on that boat at some point.
You're going to see your family again.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very positive.
And we get a little bit of a background. Like, Devney, the author, did set this up really well. And I forgot to mention the book we're reading, but if you're tuning into episode 2, So this is Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry. Sorry for that, not mentioning it in the beginning, but here we are. And we're describing the trail through the forest, and beyond the sand was reed grasses, their tips swaying in the breeze. A veil of mist cloaked the tallest peaks, and the air was cool. So, it's a lot different than Quintus. And
it's unknown territory.
Definitely.
For her. I mean, there's a part with the Guardian, and he's leading.
Yeah.
And, like, she's, like, asking herself, she's like, does he have, like, night vision? Because how the hell can he see here? I can't see 2 feet in front of me, and this guy's just walking like he knows it so well.
He can see in the dark. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
That was cool. Like, it's such a simple thing, but I remembered that.
Yeah.
Like,
you find some interesting things. And the guardian is standing on the beach, but he's not alone. He's speaking to the high priest. And that always unnerves Odessa. Like, she's very nervous around the Voster.
I can't blame her. Like, who is this person?
You imagine them? Do you imagine the Salem's Lot creatures now?
Yes.
After last night? Oh, you got nightmares?
Yeah, I do. And it just bothers me. Like,
And she noted that they were like almost affectionate with each other, like brothers. With his spindly fingers. Can you imagine them hugging?
I didn't even think of that, but yeah, maybe because they are pretty tight.
Yeah. Oh, also, here in last episode, you were mentioning a lot that the Guardian was fast. He could swim so fast. In this question, quote, had the Voster given the Guardian his powers, was that how he could swim so fast, move so quickly?
Something's up.
Yeah.
Because he was over on the other boat, like, so quick.
Yeah, you did have a lot to say about that last time. The high priest, she was so afraid the touch would have sent her right out of her skin, but it didn't even make the Guardian flinch. So something's up there with her and the Voster. You know, you're trying to put some puzzle pieces together and you're like, what's going on?
Yeah, I'm still in question of that situation. Like, where are we going with this?
You also wouldn't want them to put their fingers on you.
No, I don't need that. That's scary.
So she wondered if the black case that was strapped to the high priest's back was the Shield of Sparrows treaty. Like, does he keep it on him for safekeeping? Like, and what would happen if the documents were lost?
That'd be a no-no, probably. There'd be probably some rule that we don't know about.
Yeah, there's a lot of rules in romantasy. They just go together.
Yeah.
R&R. And Rob needs to follow. Rob needs to follow the romantasy rules.
Triple threat.
Yeah. The Guardian, she always is noticing things about him, like his tunic. It was nearly transparent. It molded to the strength of his chest, to the contours of his rippled stomach.
Yeah, she's got a good eye. She's watching him.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Like, she even like goes into more detail of like the stitching and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like different than everybody else's, apparently.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
And she said to herself, quote, he was attractive, but I would not let a handsome face and body carved from stone distract me from my task.
I don't know.
But she still thinks that he's a murderer, like, because of Banner.
Yeah, because of Banner's brother.
Yeah.
So she's just upset. She's like, I mean, yeah, he's good looking, but this is wrong to think of him that way. He's bad. You know, he's a bad boy.
Bad.
He's a bad boy.
Bad boys.
There's always one, right?
Yeah.
Maybe there's two. There might be two right now. We just don't hear from, what's his name again? I honestly haven't heard enough from him.
Xavier.
Yeah, Xavier.
Well, he doesn't speak, so
I know, but
you literally have not heard from him.
haven't.
Pants and sturdy boots paired with loose tunics, clothes that were plain yet practical. Most of the women had their hair braided, not entirely unlike mine. So, you know, Jocelyn and Brielle, zip it. There's other women that wear pants.
It's fine. You just can wear them. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, so unfortunately for Odessa, she was hoping for some anonymity in her spying and trying to get all that work completed for her father. But everyone kind of turned and noticed that she was in the presence, because of course they would. It's a newcomer. And, you know, so much for invisibility, she says.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to spy when you're an outcast.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to look at you.
And people are calling her Princess Odessa Wolf, which, you know, grinds her gears, because she's like, you know, I'm not a wolf yet. Like,
just call me by my first name.
That's exactly what she said. Like the princess and wolf are not necessary.
She's straightforward with it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to be a princess.
Yeah, and we've got our friend Tilia.
Yes. Yeah. She becomes like a big part of the chapters coming up here.
Yes.
Like, you're just like, oh, okay. Like, where'd she come from? And now she's like kind of like hitting her stride with being in a big role.
Yeah. And she wonders, she inquires about Xavier, like, does everyone here know you can speak? And he just nodded his head.
Yeah.
And she just is like, battling with her internal thoughts. Like, why was she even here? She is not an effective spy. She also has a lot of self deprecating humor and thoughts. And again, I really relate to this. I really relate to this.
Yeah.
And we get the age old question, can you ride?
Oh, jeez. Yeah, he threw that in there real quick.
Yeah, that was like the only thing he said, Xavier. And of course, the Guardian appeared at her side riding a massive black stallion.
He's got like the best horse, it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, that's not fair.
well,
Where's everybody else getting their horses from?
yeah. So that chapter ends with she's going to earn her father's trust. She's going to do whatever it takes. And she's going to save her people, and she is going to find that road to Elysiria. And here we are. Okay, it only took 14 chapters to go right back to the beginning. End quote. How badly would it hurt if I jumped off this horse? More or less than the current pain radiating throughout my body. Because, this is a tough ride because she is so used to just like sitting up in that castle, just,
She knows her land, and this
yeah,
is so unknown.
yeah,
And also, like, she doesn't know anybody really here. Like,
yeah.
I mean, she got her two friends, Jocelyn and
Brielle.
Brielle, but that's not enough when
Yeah.
you're like just thrown into it.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
Here's the part you were mentioning earlier that he didn't even need a torch.
yeah,
His ever changing eyes allow him to see in the dark.
those star dusty eyes, right?
They change color.
Starburst.
They change
Yes.
color. So yeah, but you'll start to get to learn like what colors mean what when he's angry, when he's indifferent. It starts to kind of have that pattern.
Yeah.
So she was just so like out of place on the horse, and like this goes on for a while. Like they're really traveling. They are like traveling. They are thick.
And they have to do it at dusk or dawn. Dawn. I think it's dawn.
Yeah, right here it says, quote, the coastal forests are thick with grizzers. Kind
Yes.
of like grizzly bears, I'm imagining. Like the way I think there is a description and we'll get to that. Their nocturnal vision is poor, so it's safer to travel through those areas by night. So
So
you
yeah,
were,
it's
yeah,
safe. It's safer to travel at night. And
yeah,
she never thought that was like in her area. They don't do that.
yeah.
They're like, no, we're not going out there
And
in the dark. And they're
he's
like,
got
no, this is how
double
we do it.
vision.
Yeah. Yeah, that helps.
The Guardian has enough vision for everybody.
Yeah.
And we get a little background on Tura, end quote. And Tura was the largest of the 5 kingdoms, 4 times the size of Quintus, though it had less than half the number of people. She had studied those maps in Calandra. She had a sense that of the whole entire continent's geography, but she never really could have conveyed the sheer magnitude that is these forests, and like now traveling them not on foot but on horse, like that does a lot. Like your body is not used to that. And she said to Xavier, I've never seen snow. And he pretty much doesn't say anything, which is on par.
Yeah.
It's on brand for him.
Just keep it quiet.
And this quote really made me crack up. Quote, I'd never, ever been so aware of my tailbone.
I had a long drive today.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is probably equivalent to riding that horse.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like 2 hour drive, and I
It
was
was like
like,
2.5 hour.
yeah, I couldn't handle it. After a little while, I'm like, I felt like my car seats were nice, but now I'm like, this is equivalent to a horse.
Yeah.
I'm getting sick of riding.
And she's like going hard in the paint, trying to figure out anything, like any of the rocks that are different, cluster of trees, a landmark, anything to try to help her father. Which, good for you, Odessa. You're trying.
Yeah.
You're trying.
She'll keep her promise, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like, that's a hard one. Dad put her up against a task that seems kind of hard.
And like I'm going through my notes and it's like, do horse, we're riding a horse. And Jocelyn did ask, like, she wondered, like, why are they lighting so many fires? And Odessa's like, I really don't know the answer to that. But she's like, I don't even care. She goes, because even my hair hurt. Like, I can't even think about it. and she was complaining about how much everything hurt, and she was massaging her muscles. And she asked the guardian, "Do you have no personal boundaries?" and swatted his hand away because he was trying to assist
Oh boy.
in the situation. Oh my God. This quote, this and I quote, this is one of my favorites. "Sore, my queen, will have to add riding to your training regimen. That or being ridden.
Oh,
I'll have a word with Xavier."
you gotta love it.
I love it. I love it. I love his quips. I love the banter. And, she's thinking to herself, did she really want to sleep with Xavier? Not really. Not right now, anyway. He's handsome, but he was a stranger.
Yeah.
Literally a stranger. And she's just not the type for casual affairs.
Yeah.
I mean, she's going to marry Banner. Like, she was betrothed already.
I know. It's just a lot that happened to her. And then she's got the guardian here that's throwing these little, what is that called? Innuendo?
Innuendo? Yeah.
Yes. One
Yeah.
of those. He's throwing those all over the place.
And we've got a little bit of a whisper caressing the shell of her ear.
The whisper.
Yeah.
You just did the whisper.
Yeah, the whisper. Yeah. So he's like kind of like, instigating her, like, do you need help? And she swore to the gods that she will kill him with her bare hands if the water gets cold, because she ain't messing around. She's sore. Don't get in my way.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Good timing.
Great timing. And you know, she's wondering where she sleep. Does she sleep in a tent with her husband? Like, they don't know each other. And so she's wondering this, and quote, "If you're not going to send him here, I guess I'll have to find his tent myself. And of course the guardian, feel free to wander into mine, princess. Xavier likes
Sheesh.
to share."
Oh my God. These boys. Well,
Men.
I guess men. And the guardian's doing most of the talking.
He's doing something.
All of it right now.
He is doing it all. Yeah.
He's really extra on this.
Yeah. And so we have Brielle questioning. She realized that Odessa was not alone in the tent. And she was like, "Oh, I didn't realize you there, guardian, that you were there." And she said, "Oh, the guardian was just sleeping. It's fine."
Yes. No biggie.
Yeah. And it's just a strange series of nights and, camping. And this is, again, for all three of these girls that came from Quintus, this is just such a new experience. Like, totally new.
It's like going to summer camp and your parents didn't tell you
Yeah.
until like a day before. And you're like, I have to get prepared. I wasn't prepared to have conversations and like be with people. Like, this is going to be fun, but this is hard. Like, I didn't expect this.
That's really true. And like I had said during the recap, that Brielle and Jocelyn thought that they made them ride all through the night so they could not figure out where they were.
Yeah.
It's really like a mind thing. Like,
where the heck are we?
And they care about their land. They care about Tura. And they don't know these people from Adam or Amma, in this case, the god.
Yeah.
And so she did, right before she was about to drift off to sleep, she heard a roar that kind of like radiated. There it is. I think it was a little more vicious.
Oh, okay.
And she thought, I think Xavier might have been telling the truth about these monsters.
Yeah, don't mess around.
Yeah.
Stay in your horse. Stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane. Yeah. And again, as I mentioned before, Brielle, in her sleep, is murmuring, "Miss you." And she slid an arm around Odessa's waist. And Odessa's like,
"Oh,
what's this about?
What?
Who you got? And who did she miss? A lover? And then this made Odessa question, I didn't have friends. Like, these girls are not really my friends. They literally work for my father. So she was a princess in Quintus. People expected her to be privy to her father's plans, everything that he had to do. And she would attend balls and parties. And all the girls would do was gossip behind her back. They weren't real friends. They spread lies and,
That's rude.
Yeah.
Rude and royal.
Yeah.
Like.
That's right. 2 R's again.
Once again, we're going to throw all the R's out we can in this book, it seems.
Yeah.
Rude.
Yeah.
That's number one sometimes in this book.
And she didn't want to be alone while venturing into this new land, into this new role of spy, wife, whatever you want to call her. She actually she's hoping that Jocelyn and Brielle could be her friends, and
Hopefully.
until she sent them home. And that's kind of her goal here, is to have someone and something. And it's really sad when you sit and think about this.
Yeah, being like the king's daughter. You think it would be like a good time? No. Odessa's kind of like, she's got hard times too, even though she's like royal, like should have everything, like you think having everything available to you would be good. But
Yeah.
like for her, it's like she's such a wholesome person. Like these things hurt, I think. Like her friends not really being her friends
Yeah.
type
I know,
situation.
it's honestly sad.
Yeah.
And we have Odessa asking a lot of questions. She's got a lot of thoughts and inquiries, and learning about Eldar and where supplies go into Elisaria. She's just focused on Elisaria, and she's trading one babysitter for another. Is she not allowed to be alone? Is her question, because of course, who shows up? The Guardian,
Every time.
of course, and he just consistently pesters her, which I love. I love this back and
See,
forth.
you love it.
Yeah.
I'm like nervous every time.
Nervous?
I mean, he seems I'm a guy.
Yeah.
I don't know what to think. Like when he comes on, I'm like,
Yeah.
should I
I
be
mean, she's
nervous
married.
or should I
Yeah.
be happy that he's trying to like
Protect her. Yeah.
protect her and do this stuff and
Yeah.
the joshing around? Is
The
that
Joshin.
does she if she likes it, I should just like it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. She doesn't even know if she likes it. So
I
I think you're in the same boat
I'm
as
in the same
Odessa.
boat. I'm like, I don't know what to think of this guy.
And she's now giving him like an interrogation. What was that roar? And he said, a monster.
Yep.
And she's now noticing that the Guardian and Xavier look a lot alike. That their
Mm.
features were similar, but the Guardians were a little bit more pronounced. And the sharp jaw, your favorite.
Oh, he's got a sharp jaw.
Both of them do.
Who's got a sharper one?
The Guardian.
The Guardian.
She's like, are they related? Cousins? Maybe brothers?
He's got definitely a quick tongue.
Hey, hey, hey. Ha. A grizzer, he tells her. That's their territory. She's so scared. She's like, did you kill it? And he's like, I had to. It was going to come and cause some terror. And she says, can I see it?
Yeah, that was a bad idea.
Do you think?
Yes.
Oh.
Because, like, I might be jumping ahead, but.
Yeah. So curious, my queen.
I can't help myself. I can't help myself but jump a little bit.
Yeah.
But it definitely brings up some not so good memories for her down the road.
Yeah.
She's like, I wish I didn't see that thing.
Yeah. Do you want to get a little bit of a download on what the grizzer looks like?
Yeah.
A reminder?
Yeah.
Quote, its bear-like frame lay prone on its belly. Its massive body was covered in coarse cinnamon fur. Along the spine, jutting through that thick, wiry hair, were spikes as long as my arm. They were as white as snow and as pointed as the Guardian's sword. They angled in all directions, some curving to the sides, others aiming straight. They sound very intimidating, if nothing else.
They're oblong. It sounds like their arms are oblong.
At least they're not spindly like the Voster.
Yeah.
Well, maybe.
I'd rather have an oblong.
And she did notice, I mean, she's heard of bears before, but the snout was longer than any bear's, double the size.
Was it an anteater bear? Like, is this what it is? An anteater bear? That's what you pretty much described to me.
Its mouth was open, revealing teeth that didn't form neat rows. Instead, like the spikes on its back, they jutted at odd angles.
Good.
So, like, they needed braces.
Good luck brushing those.
Yeah.
The heck? You just, like, do, like, an orbital sander on your teeth. Like, you don't even have a toothbrush.
And after seeing this, Odessa's like, hey, I want a sword. We talked about this?
Yeah, where's my sword?
And he did agree. And he's like, that I did, but we'll train. Be there at dawn.
There's always training in these romantasy books.
I mean,
You got to be prepared.
yeah. A good training montage.
And
That's coming up.
you got to have a good trainer. And if you know what I mean.
What do you mean by that?
It has to be a good looking
Why does it
man.
have to be good looking?
I mean, that wouldn't be fun if he wasn't, right?
Oh, I guess. It adds to the intrigue.
Exactly. And like, yeah, it's always the good looking guy. He's always the trainer.
Yeah.
It gets you in trouble.
In 17, we
We're
start
like, all
with a
right, let's
training.
just
No,
go.
we start with a training. No, we're heading right into
We're
a
headed right
training
into it.
session.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's like, "You're not getting that sword yet."
You got to
And
work on some
she's
things.
wondering, "What am I doing here then?" And it's your idea, girl. Like, this was your idea, girl.
Yeah.
And of all the times that he listened to her, this is when she's like, "Really?" So she is trying to like set aside the verbal back and forth to kind of like learn how to fight. She
Hmm.
really does want to move past her, damsel in distress
Yeah.
kind of past that she had.
This is a new start. Let's get to
Oh,
training.
oh,
What?
wait.
What?
This one is so good. It's so good. He's giving her compliments, and she said, "Thanks." I deadpanned. And I was certain I wouldn't earn any compliments today. Ready for this? Ready for his response, you guys? Praise is for the bedroom, Cross, not the training ring.
Oh my goodness.
Hey,
This is the stuff that you picked up. I missed that quote.
how?
I'm not looking for it really.
Mm,
But now that you said it, I'm like, wow, he's on another level.
yeah.
That was
So she's imagining in her mind this man in her bedroom now because he said that praise is for the bedroom, and then her mind is going crazy. Like maybe someday. And wait, marriage is weird. I'm married.
yeah.
I'm married.
He doesn't have any boundaries.
Focus, Odessa. She gripped her knives tighter. Gotta grip them tighter. Any opponent will likely move in close. Go for the kill. Your task will be to find your enemy's weak points.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. And this is not a joke. Could she actually take out a man if she had to? Is him questioning her. And she said, "If I must."
Yeah. He can't be a flight risk right now.
Do we believe her?
I don't know. You told me she can't swim, so there's a knock to Odessa. I don't know. She
Uh,
fight with her sister?
her sister was like lethal and scary. I don't think she ever wanted to spar with May.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know how bad their brawls got, but maybe.
So we have this beautiful training montage where he said, "Harder, faster." Ha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exact things you want in training, right?
Yeah. Training on and off the field. Yeah. Yeah. She just doesn't want to fall. Like she does not want to embarrass herself in front of him. She does not want to be known as the weak princess of Tura, because she was already known as that, as a weak princess in Quintus.
Yeah.
And she would not quit no matter how much she wanted to say, "I'm done for the day." And he said, "Good. Let's keep it up. You got it. Let's go." And he's smug though. Of course he's smug.
Mm. It's kind of part of him. A little bit.
Yeah, he's intense for sure. But the banter, it just never stops. Like he's telling her, "You cannot be afraid. If you want to be a queen in Tura, you cannot be afraid."
Got to keep digging deep to get this training.
And then he's really trying to get to her at this point and quote, "So you'd rather rot in a golden castle, withering away while your family forgets your existence? You are nothing to them.
Mm.
Your father gave you away with so much as a blink. Your sister put on a show of bidding you goodbye, but I'll wager she's already in your fiance's bed. A
Whoa.
man who also let you go without a fight. And don't you have a little brother? Did they even let you say goodbye?" Mhm. He stomped on her heart.
Wow.
It was ruthless and unforgivable, but at the same time, it was the truth. She knew that
Jeez.
it was the truth.
That was a lot.
And, he was doing that for a purpose. He wants her to use that rage. Fight for yourself.
Yeah, like kick some butt with that anger.
Fight for yourself.
Yeah.
And she said, "I hate you." And a slow grin stretched across his mouth. "There's my queen."
I wish everybody could see Jackie's face. Like that's the part that's missing a little bit. Is like this is too good.
What about yours?
I mean,
When I tell you some of the really
yeah,
interesting parts.
yeah. I got a little bit of red cheeks. I'm
Yeah,
blushing
you're
over here.
blushing. And she said to herself, she's not a doll, not a toy, not a princess that had no business. And she was just felt hopeless. But with this training, it takes time. It takes time. Like,
Everything does.
she is not used to this. This is not, and
This ain't putting on dresses.
yeah. And so this is where it gets kind of interesting. Like, we kind of get a little bit of a husband coming into the fold here. And the guardian said, I want you to keep going. And Xavier barked, enough.
Ooh.
You're done.
You're done. You're done.
Immediately.
You're immediately done right now.
Immediately.
Why do we love that so much?
Because of someone.
Just somebody had to introduce it to us.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately. Done.
Yeah. So we find out that Xavier is heading off to Paris, but this is spelled differently than the other Paris. And he's got some business to attend to. Different. Well, maybe.
I had to.
It's just so hard. Like, he just keeps disappearing, and she knows nothing about him. So it's tough. And 18. Brielle's questioning, what does a real bad feel like? I can't even remember at this point.
She's just been on a horse way too long.
On a horse with no name. Actually, they do have names.
I forgot those.
Xavier,
I can't remember their names barely. I'm bad at that,
It is. There's a lot of names. Yes. Xavier left with 6 of his rangers off to Paris, and the Guardian was gone too. Typical. Yeah, he does disappear. They all disappear a lot.
Like, where is he?
He's
a little bit non-existent.
Yeah. We hear some more snarls, and men are shouting, but then a shout was cut short. Uh-oh. And we've got warriors stationed everywhere. What's going on? Like, there's a lot going on. The monsters were everywhere. Beowulfs. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Well, Beowulfs. And the packs are being taken out by the soldiers. They're trying their, what they can to...
Chaotic.
Yeah, and Brielle, I miss the sound of the ocean. I'm sure you do, Brielle. I'm sure you do. And they all wonder, will they be safe with these guys? And Odessa immediately answers yes.
Yeah, you have no choice, 1. And 2, like, they're pretty good at fighting.
She just felt like, well, I signed the Shield of Sparrows, and you can't kill your king, like vice versa, you can't.
Yeah.
But the actually was not Beowulfs. It was another Grizzer.
What's up with them?
It's their territory. This is what is that this is my area.
This is my area. This is my room. Something like that. Yeah, that's the video.
Yeah. So it's just constant chaos in the, what do they call this? The wilds. It's
wild. It's violin.
Yeah. Something had interrupted though the Grizzer in its path. His roar was cut short. And who do you think it was?
I'm gonna say it starts with a G.
The Guardian. Yeah. He was covered in dark blood. His eyes locked on her. Swirling metal in them.
Kind of like saving the day over here.
Yeah. And chants, Guardian. He saved them. But then she sees kind of an intimate moment between Tilia and the Guardian.
What's
that
about?
Were they together? Both were warriors. Both were fearless. She was breathtaking, and he was him.
Beautiful man.
Yeah.
I needed like art again. Like somebody needs to start drawing this stuff.
There is fan art, but I can show you some, but I can show you the monsters for sure.
Okay.
For sure,
you gotta show me them.
Yeah. Are you all right, my queen? It was the gentlest voice I'd ever heard. Low and smooth as silk.
Wow. What a man.
What a man,
what a man, what a man, what a mighty good man.
Mighty good man.
Ooh, you threw the extra in there.
Oh, we're on 19. Oh, okay. So we have a little throwback here, which is like absolutely insane. This whole part. Quote, when I was 13, a scullery maid poisoned me
What?
with a fennec tusk powder. She slipped it into my morning tea. She got caught. She admitted to it. And she was hanged in the public square. Whoa.
Whoa, unhinged story out of nowhere is
Yeah,
for
but this is the
19.
part that's super interesting about that. That's horrible. But like to my knowledge, the doctors still don't know how I survived the poison. The powder was twice as toxic as the venom of any snake, but her body fought it and the fever and she lived.
What?
So it is weird. Like that's weird.
It's got to be those eyes.
And because of like so many issues with the fennec powder, the Calandra had not seen a lot of it in a long time. And someone though had discovered that grinding the tusks of grizzers and all the monsters could make the finest poison on the continent. That's crazy.
They got like dirty blood or something. What's up with these animals?
Yeah, the
They're just the
monsters
monsters.
within.
Yeah,
The monsters within.
something's wrong with them.
Yeah. It's there's just so much going on, like so many monsters discussions, and now they're kind of changing their plans on where they're going to go. They're not going to go to Alder just yet. They're going to be stopping in Trio.
Trio.
Trio is cool as heck to me. And she dwelled on where the like what's up with the Guardian. You know, he was a legendary killer, apparently a murderer, according to Banner.
Mm.
So far, she'd only ever seen him fight the monsters, but she didn't expect him to battle with his own people. They all stared at him with devotion and in wonder. So she's got these conflicting emotions about him. And she also liked Tilia. She'd been nothing but kind and respectful. And the relationship with the Guardian, she goes, maybe she's in love with him.
Mm.
She didn't seem the type, quote, to love an evil man. So her thoughts on the Guardian they're literally like a seesaw at this
Yes.
point. Yeah. But then she, quote, killed Banner's brother in a vicious, brutal way. Did Tilia know about that? What are you going to tell her?
Yeah.
Banner? You going to tell her about Banner? And so we've got some rangers. We meet Halston, and we have a passionate kiss between Tilia and Halston. Her brain exploded.
Yeah, because she was like nervous at first.
You
She's
think?
like, I think so. Because she's like, what's the story between these two? Get out of my way.
Yeah.
Little bit of like, get out my way.
Get out the way.
I think I think she has feelings.
Do you?
I think so.
When she said, quote, she not in 100 years would Banner have ever kissed her the way that Halston kissed Tilia.
Yes.
And she wouldn't even care if they were ever apart.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't care. Like she's apart from him now. She never had a man look at her that way, and she doesn't think she ever would.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, she's got some time. She's young.
She's just dwelling on the fact that like she doesn't have that feelings of passion, love. And so this is at the point she's asking her handmaiden, have you ever been in love? And she looks super sad. And she said, he broke my heart, but I still love him. I always will.
Mm-hmm.
And Odessa's like, who in the heck is that?
Yeah.
Who in the heck? Like, and she's like, I'm so sorry. I never knew any of this about you. And Brielle's like, girl, you're a princess. You're not really supposed to care about my life at all. Like, I'm just a handmaiden. And
That's a shame.
I know. I don't think Odessa, I think like she's a product of her environment. So like this is how like royals treat people. But let's not forget, Odessa hated her royal life so much. We're standing on the cliff in the very first chapter of this book. So it's like, I don't know how much she really agreed with this life.
Yeah, she just kind of followed suit, but she didn't mean to. Like, as in, like, she's not like a malicious person. She's just being royal.
Yeah.
Kind of comes with it. Like, that's too bad because they could have been like great friends back when they were home. Now they are kind of like
Trio. We're in Trio.
Yeah.
And quote, we stepped out of the sun to the shade of branches and limbs to a place unlike anything I'd ever seen. It was like walking into a different realm.
This place was sick.
I love this place. And this is why this is part of why this is shot to the top of romantasy books for me. I can't talk about anything else, but like just the idea of the monsters That's different. The idea of this trio of like so many things I love about this, and this isn't even halfway into the book.
Who's
So
building these?
it's a world build.
Where's
It's a
the
world build.
architects?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And you where they sleep, you have to get up by a ladder. That's important to note.
Yes.
Yeah. And the tree houses are safer, Tilia explains, because they're in Tarkin territory, another monster. So these monsters are a little different, scary, you know? And Xavier, she's wondering where Xavier's treehouse is because she just assumes that that's her treehouse because this is like
Yeah,
tradition. That's
we're
her
like
husband.
a thing.
Would they finally have that awkward, intimate moment?
Mm.
She was really hoping it wasn't today because she's a sweaty mess. You get a little bit of the ick.
Yeah.
And quote, I guess if I fell to my death, at least I'd get to skip that awkward sex.
I guess that's a plus.
Yeah. So she's just breathing in all of this and seeing all of her cool stuff in her room.
I know this
And
is, it's not really random, but did you have a treehouse when you were younger?
I mean, I didn't have one. Well, did I? I might have had like a makeshift one that was like made out of a few pieces of like, I don't know, 2x4s.
Yeah.
But my cousins, they had a sick one. Like
That's
a
funny
sick
because
one.
my cousins had one that was awesome.
Yeah.
That's literally what I was going to come here to tell you.
You're going to come here to tell me this.
Yes, because I don't think I've ever mentioned this. But yeah, they had one that was like legit. Like my uncle master crafted this thing.
I'm sure.
And then my dad had 2 planks for me.
Exactly.
Kind of like yours.
Yes. It's so funny. So she's trying to get in this tub. She's like, oh, glorious. There's a tub, steaming water. And who walks in?
I don't even have to acknowledge it. We know.
Yeah. Can I tell you about this point? Because I love this point, though. Like, I'm going to read this off because, quote, his beard was trimmed close to his jaw and his hair damp, like he just had a bath of his own.
Ooh.
The collar of his tunic showed a triangle of taut, smooth skin above his heart. His pants molded to strong thighs. His eyes were that vivid emerald green. Ready for this?
Yes.
Oh, ready for this? He was the most beautiful man I'd ever seen.
And there we go.
Here we go, one more time. This is a romantasy thing that happens.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
But I kind of saw it coming a little
And
bit.
she's saying all this, and she's like, I thought it would be Xavier.
Yeah.
Sorry to disappoint, my queen.
Ooh.
He has been detained. He's busy. He's booked and busy. Xavier.
You should read audiobooks. After that like little snippet of The Guardian, I'm like, I think that would work.
Yeah, I don't know about that. We do like, she asks so many questions and he makes a comment about it. Like, how many questions are you going to ask me? And your eyes, they don't have a starburst.
What's up? Yeah.
And so here we go. The hard hitting questions here. The Guardian said, are you a virgin?
Right to the point.
Straight to the point. And he wanted a reaction, and that's why he asked. And was it working? Unfortunately for Odessa, it did.
Mm-mm.
She's just talking about, did your father send you here to spy? No.
Big no.
And he's like, yeah, you're a liar. You lying.
He seems to know a lot.
I feel, yeah.
Like he's almost trying to catch her in lies, already knowing that she's
telling them. Yeah.
That's how I feel when I read about it.
And so she's just curious. She really wants to get to Elisaria. And he said, you'll go there when Xavier can trust you. That's when you'll go.
Like, but has Xavier even shown like not trusting her? It's really just the Guardian saying like, I don't trust you, don't you think?
Yeah, it's sus. It's like Xavier isn't even around. So.
Yeah, so it's like, okay.
And so then she feels like she's trapped. The chapter ends with her feeling trapped because the rope ladder disappeared. And here we are. Her questioning this whole village, heading into town, or this treehouse town. I don't even, like, I'm trying to imagine it in my brain and it's cool, but I'm like, I wish I could see it with my own eyes. I want to go to this place.
You have to imagine it.
It kind of reminds me like of The Bridge to Terabithia, but that was like imaginary, and that's a super sad movie. Don't even get me started. Every time I think about it, I could tear up. So, oh my
It's one
god,
of those
it
movies.
is. And they talk about what's in the village, and there's a library. Ooh, ooh.
this
She's a big
is
fan of a
this is the
library.
place to be right here. Why we
Yeah.
gotta leave?
Yeah.
Like, are we gonna leave? I don't know.
We are introduced to a little girl with silky brown hair, wispy waves. Her skin is pale as starlight, and she has a starburst of those born in Ozarth, the most adorable child Odessa had ever seen, even cuter than Arthi.
Oh,
I
wow, she's even saying that.
know. Dang.
Wow.
She has this ever present feeling that she's being watched all the time. Like it's just a feeling that she has. And she just really wants to go to this library.
I mean, you gotta check the library out. Wherever you go, if there's a library around, you better stop in there.
Yeah, check
Check
it
it out.
out.
Make sure everything's good. The
Check
books
it
are
out
good.
and check out the books, both.
Yeah, double check.
Yeah, double check. So then Odessa learns a little bit about that there's a network of riders that go across the kingdom, hundreds of them. It pays well. They deliver post from village to city to town, and like this is new to her because Quintus didn't really have any of this. So
Yeah,
let's see. Do we have more training?
probably.
Oh yes, we do.
There's always training to be done,
Yeah.
according to the Guardian.
He absolutely obliterates her with this next comment, though. Like, end quote. And you should make your own bed in the morning, not leave it to your lady
Oh my
maids.
god, this part, I was like, all right, Mr. Military.
I know.
Like, he is so crazy about her making her bed. He's like, it's rude. You should just make your bed, okay? This is you don't want your
Ladies.
your lady friends to have to make it. You should be making it. He was so into that.
And she wanted to know a little bit about his upbringing because, like, how are you going to come at me? Like, let's hear about
Yeah.
you. And she just assumed he was a stoic little child, kind of like her sister, like
Hmm.
intense, and they would be a good match probably. And so he kind of explains what he was like. Quote, I was a terror. My mother prayed to Amma daily that I wouldn't break my neck.
Hmm.
And so she kind of like imagined him as a little boy, fearless,
Reckless.
reckless. Yeah. And
Not
she,
guarding himself.
yeah.
That's for sure.
Oh my God. And this part was intense too. I remember when I first read this, I was like, oh, quote, what do those engravings mean? He has a cuff and he rotated his arm. They're for the lives I've taken. So I'll never forget.
Yeah, and she's like, that's crazy. That's a whole nother level. Like tattoos are wild, but then like you're actually carving your skin to remember. Wow,
Yeah.
scary.
So we just have a couple serious conversations, back and forth questions, and he basically said he went 10 toes
Ten
down
toes,
about he will protect his country. It's loyal to his bone. It runs deep. He's
not
going to
nine,
protect 10.
10. Gotta remember all
10.
10.
So we're into 21, and she officially hates Trio. How could you, Odessa? She just felt like the end of her life was coming because these training sessions are so intense. And she feels like every night the rope ladder goes up. She don't know how to get down. And she could not stand the Guardian at all.
Yeah,
At all.
a lot just going on in that town.
She, quote, unless he didn't have parents, unless he'd been birthed from Isaac's shade. So each of those 6 monsters lived in the shade. That's what it's called in this world. Like kind of like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Like the god of death, Isaac. Was the guardian one of the terrors, a harbinger of death?
I don't know, but it sounds scary.
Yeah. And she has to let him know that she didn't get a chance to make her bed.
Yeah, she throws that right in his face, like first thing.
Yep.
I didn't make my bed. Just so
Whoops.
you know.
And we talk more about Mariette. She's kind of like a caretaker. And Kathleen. We meet Kathleen. She has a really nice hug. She missed sharing them with Arthi. It's like a warm. She
Yeah,
feels like the homey
that's
feeling.
so nice. Like to
Yeah.
be described like if someone described that I had a nice hug, that would be the nicest thing anybody could
It's
say.
funny, but you say that because I'm like don't really like hugs that much. It's funny. It's. And I know this is like to the disdain of many of you because you're like, you're not a hugger. What do you mean? I am and I'm not. I don't. if I'm gonna give someone a hug, it's like gotta really mean something. It's kind of like when people
Yeah.
say "I love you."
Yeah,
I get,
we have a family friend that like he gives
yeah,
amazing hugs.
yes.
And that guy gives a good hug and you're like, I'll embrace that type of hug.
Hmm.
But if it's like half ass
Are you
hug,
talking about Scotty Too Hottie?
yes,
Yeah,
yes, Sky Duhati. Yes.
he
He's
does have
like
a great
he
hug.
might be the best hugger I've ever met.
He really is a good hugger. Yeah,
I hope he listens to this.
he will never listen to this. He is too serious. No, these people are great. Anyway, back on topic. Kathleen, we find out, is the librarian.
Oh yeah.
And it's her passion project to, take shape of the librarian trio. And she's just explaining kind of her upbringing. She spent many years in Elysaria, which made Odessa take pause. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, what?
What's it like there?
Yeah.
She couldn't just outright ask, like, can I have a map to Elysaria? But I'll just read anything. I like it all.
Yeah.
Whatever you got in there. And they kind of learn what the wilds are like in terms of kids and schooling. And there's kind of just tutors. That's basically it. Oh, and like I said in the summary, we open a little book. It's about Quintus, and she's like, hey, I want to read about my place. And it starts with traitors, liars, thieves.
Ooh.
I spent a year in Quintus and can say with absolute certainty they are despicable people. And this is written by Samuel Hay. Another person that stood 10 toes down.
Yes.
Like, Quintus sucks.
This is when history gets like mixed up.
Yep.
You got one guy just mad. Just mad at somebody.
So she's like, what? That was not what I was expecting. And
We're lovely people, she's saying in her head. She's like, this is crazy. We're not like that. I would be mad too if like they wrote a book on my town and be like, hey, knock it off. Okay? I know we got some of these characteristics, but settle down.
yeah. She said, F you, Samuel Hay. F you. She was thinking about her mother at this point, like all about Quintus, like thinking about her father and what had happened, like with that story. It's like how Margot came into the picture. So we're just reflecting back on a lot of that. And when she finally did fall asleep after all of this, learning and traveling through Trio, she dreamed of a grizzer.
Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. Yeah. It wasn't a good dream though. It was a
Yeah.
nightmare.
Yeah, and she had seen a crux, which is apparently the scariest and biggest baddie of the monsters. And
It's the baddie.
in this dream, it cut Brielle's body in two.
Yeah. That's what I mean. I was
Dang.
like, she's gonna have bad nightmares. She should have never looked at it. I know she wanted to, but like this is what happens when you look at scary stuff. This is why I don't watch scary movies.
Yeah.
I
Your
try
voice just went up 3 octaves.
I know because I get scared.
Yeah. And well, you should be scared because now a lionwick is there.
Crap.
They are nocturnal. They can see in the dark. And they're excellent climbers. And who do you think is standing outside the treehouse?
I know, Guardian.
He's there.
He's the
ever
man.
present.
He is the man at the moment.
And she's like scared at this point. There's a lionwick and she's pointing, kill it. And he's like, no, you.
Yeah.
You.
It's your turn. I've done enough.
And she wondered, she had heard him speaking to someone. You might have caught this part. And in Odessa's brain, quote, who? It wasn't my business who he spent his nights with, who he invited to his bed, especially considered I was married. She keeps forgetting that little point.
It's easy to forget when he's never around.
Xavier,
Yeah.
I know. So 22 begins with it's Tilia doing the training. She's starting it up. And Tilia, she asks different questions to Tilia, not the same ones that she asked the Guardian. She's trying to play it cool, which I don't know if Odessa's really possible playing it cool.
Yeah.
And Tilia explains all of these monsters are part of a chain. They keep the deer population in balance, and they do try to avoid killing them.
There's like an ecosystem.
In a chain of sevens, let's not forget.
Oh, 7.
It's all connected, and literally everyone in this world is seeking a balance. Aren't we all?
Yeah.
Aren't we all? And trying to keep them at God's mercy. And and she, Odessa's questioning, like, do you always kill them? Like, you know, why were these monsters not given a chance? Were they controllable, or were they just deadly beasts with a taste for human flesh? She thinks a lot.
She does. And I mean, you can't blame her. It is kind of like, what's with all these monsters? One,
Yeah.
and why are they so, what's the word? Like, they want flesh. They're
Yeah.
hungry.
They hungry.
They hungry boys and girls.
Hungry eyes. We have then we get back to eating after training is done, and a boy notices Odessa's eyes, and she is used to the stares at this point. Her eyes are different. They are different. But Attilia's like, they might be, but they're very beautiful.
Beautiful eyes.
Yeah, she's a goodie. I like Tilia.
Yeah, she's like the best side character right now.
Yeah. And she's constantly wondering where Xavier is, And here we are. We've got some intensity coming on.
Uh-oh.
Quote, the Guardian tore through the encampment, racing past me on a massive stallion. Of course he has a massive stallion. Without so much as a glance. His face was granite. In shades, he looked furious. His anger was so strong I could practically see it.
Ooh.
Like it was smoke.
It was smoking.
Kind of like Asriel.
Ugh. That's
What a man.
right down your line of favorite
MMCs.
Yes. That's what I was getting at.
And, Odessa is worried. Like, what the heck is going on? And then all of a sudden, 50 men are emerging from the forest.
Like, what's the dealio? Really? Like, what is going on?
And they all had an emblem stamped. You hear that? Yeah. Stamped on their That hurt.
Careful.
A wolf's head set in steel, its eyes bejeweled in green. Green. Yeah.
That's a good color, though.
Yeah. And who is it? Who do we believe this is? Dun dun dun. It is King Ramsay of Tura, her father-in-law.
Oh, yes, this part.
Yeah. You didn't like this part.
No. It just enraged me.
And he's like, where the heck is my son?
Yeah.
And they're like, he ain't here.
He's somewheres.
And she's like, is he avoiding me and his father? Or just,
Basically everybody.
And Kathleen is like, hey, get over here.
He's like the loner of the year.
Yes. Number one loner.
This guy knows how to be a loner.
Kathleen is like, get over here. Get over here. Come here. And all of a sudden they're watching, and it's just so sad. They're burning books.
Yeah, this part.
You literally hate this because you talked to me for literally, I'm not even joking with you all. He talked to me for 2 hours straight about Fahrenheit 50, whatever. What is it? Because I had never read it or watched it, and he gave me a dissertation.
A person that reads books more than me, I just expected you to read that book.
So imagine the length of this podcast. He literally sat and explained this to me. So obviously this part was devastating to him. He did not like this at all.
I had to re-explain it to you.
Yeah. It's they're just left with a smoking pile of ash where the books
they just they just incinerate. Like on command, essentially, is what happens.
It's really sad and disgusting.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Yeah.
Please stop.
And she's searching through her belongings to make sure that everything is still there. And who do we find? The Guardian.
Oh, the pause. I should have known right away.
Of course. On to 23. And it's been a week since King Ramsay was on his rampage. And she's just getting pushed harder and harder by Tilia.
She's a good trainer, but let's have a day off.
No days off.
I think we need one. We're getting, I don't know, this is hurting more than helping.
Odessa is starting to get really tired of Xavier never being here. It's like,
me too. I'm in the same boat. I'm a little bit like, all right, what's the story with this guy? He needs to show up for me to enjoy. He was the main character, I thought, and then it became the Guardian. Yeah. It just threw me for a loop. That's one thing about this book. I didn't expect the Guardian to be like the guy.
Yeah.
Where's our boy?
Yeah, and with training with Tilia, she wonders all these things. Like the Guardian has been gone for a week too. They've both been gone for a week,
Oh,
Xavier and the Guardian.
well, that's kind of relaxing. They're kind of chaotic, these
Well,
two.
she gets a little closer to Tilia, and they kind of learn. She's asking about how her and Halston met. It's kind of sad, and they've known each other since they were young. And she had a dog when she was a child named Creed, big and loud and by her side. He slept at the foot of the bed, and her mother had called him my sentry. Creed died when she was 13. And Halston kind of swooped in, stole her heart,
Hmm.
filled his place.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really nice.
It's a nice little
Her
story, actually.
soulmate. Soulmate. And we're learning some defensive mechanisms here.
Defense.
And
Defense.
and who shows up?
The Guardian.
Yeah,
I
you
got
got
it
it
that
now.
time.
You got it
Yep.
now. It's funny because at this point, quote, my heart leaped at the same time it sank. It was the strangest sensation, so odd that I choked.
Hmm. Different feeling than before.
And she said, I quote, this man made me jittery. This
Mm.
was his powers, that buzzing, raw energy put me on edge. She
This
was
guy,
lying to herself. She knew that. Like, there's something there.
I'd say.
Yeah. And she's just consistently asking, where is Xavier? His response, longing for your beloved Sparrow.
Hmm.
She just reminds herself, he's a monster. He's a monster. But a beautiful monster. He killed Banner's brother. He was a murderer. I was married. Uh, and she's just, it's a lot.
It's a back and forth situation.
Oh, the banter is thick. And back and forth, like, he's weighing in on her training. Like, she has trained with more than just Tilia. She's been doing it on her own.
She better be at this point ready.
Yeah.
This has been a lot of training.
And we've got a little bit of someone shows up during their training, Evangeline.
Oh.
She didn't realize that she could be as beautiful as the name. She's a little girl that she had signed on the commons.
Yeah. And she kind of spills the beans.
I know, when we get to that. But Odessa's wondering, who was she to him? Her daughter? Was Luella his lover?
Who knows?
Then she tells herself, I don't need to know this. I need to focus my attention on Xavier. And we've got him coming back into town. Xavier comes.
He's back.
He back.
Where was he? Again.
Yeah, he's riding into Trio. And she wasn't sure like how she should feel like seeing him again. And all of a sudden, Evangeline crashed into him. Papa! What?
Yeah, what? That was like a shock.
Yeah. Very shocking.
And yeah, she spilled beans. Because we get a little bit farther, right?
And this is hard. Yeah, this is hard for her. This is chapter 24. Because, at this time she was like doing this all for her father. But now we're adding another layer. Like there's this little girl who relies
now
on.
It's like, oh, I'm going to lie. I'm going to spy on these people and give information to like kind of take them down or it's like, well, now there's a little girl involved. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
That's tough.
So we have literally one of the most awkward conversations known to man. Odessa barely has ever spoken to her betrothed, her husband, and she's like, so you got a daughter?
Yeah. Now she's a stepmom.
She's like, it would have been good to know.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, she needs to practice.
Well, very few people even know.
That's what I mean. Like, he's like, yeah, she's not supposed to be saying that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be coming up to me saying, Papa.
She spilled the beans. And she's asking so many questions. Was Luella the mother? And she died in childbirth, he said. And she's just wondering, like, why the heck do you hide it? She's a beautiful little girl.
Yeah.
His answer to this is, I just really don't want her involved in the court life. I want her to forge her own path. And Odessa can understand this and she can sympathize with this. And she won't tell anyone.
We can trust her.
Well, can we? She's a spy.
She's a spy, but no, we can trust her. She ain't really going to I don't believe that she's going to go through with it. I don't know. She has too much like on her heart more than like here than in the past almost.
And we double down on this awkward encounter with an awkward conversation and now an awkward kiss on the cheek. So weird. Bizarre. And, she's like, oh my God, sorry. And he
Sorry.
said, don't be. And she, at first she was like, he's just not a typical prince. Like, he isn't spoiled or pompous or arrogant. Yeah. So they kind of left on this awkward note. Like, it wasn't terrible, but it was like, no passion, no nothing. Like, this is my husband. And who shows up?
Our other man,
The Guardian.
G.
Yeah. And she's just like, why are you always here? Literally always
Yeah.
bothering me.
It's like he knows when to come and like interrupt.
Oh, yes. He's
Every
got
time.
another question.
Every time.
Do you know what the question is?
Let's hear it.
How many men have you bedded?
Just out of the blue.
And I know you're anxious to join Xavier in his, but a word of caution. He's not fond of women who reek of desperation.
Wow, dude.
He's just like in a bad mood. He's not in a good mood right now, the Guardian.
I'd say.
Because he ripped off that Band-Aid. He's like, hey, did your father send you here to spy? He asked it again.
Yeah, he's like in her grill. Like, I know.
And she said, no. And he said, she also asked, like, did I pass your test? And he said, I guess not. And slammed the treehouse door.
Woo. Thing probably almost fell out of the tree.
Sky, yeah.
Whatever.
And on to 25. Wondering, Evangeline wants Xavier to stay or go with him, and we learn definitely wrapped around Papa's finger.
Yeah. For
sure. And she just really wants to get to know Evangeline, and she's introduced herself. I'm Odessa. And when Xavier winks at her, 100 butterflies fluttered in her belly. Oh,
now we're feeling other things for other people.
It's funny because she just had her butterflies in her stomach, and all of a sudden, who comes up? You don't even have to say it.
Nope.
Her babysitter, but her heart skipped. But she blames on heartburn.
Yeah, I just have heartburn right now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And we've got a little moment between Xavier and the Guardian. They're having like a little bit of a bro chat on the side, like no one can hear. And Evie says, which she does spill the beans.
Oh, yeah.
She said, he goes to fight the monsters, the bad ones.
Yeah.
The sick ones. Uh-oh.
It is like an uh-oh moment because it's like, she just thought there was monsters. Now she's like, wait.
Yeah.
There is something up with them.
They're sick.
They're sickly?
Yeah.
Somebody get them a tissue. Let's get them some vaccinations. I don't know.
And we've got Luella very concerned because she ran off Evie.
Yeah.
And she does that. And this is a common theme.
That's not good. Can't run away.
Yeah. Something bad had happened because there's no smirk, there's no mischievous nature with the Guardian, and that's odd. That's odd.
It's all serious.
And I feel bad for Odessa because we hear of the bonfires Jocelyn and Brielle go to every single night, and no one ever invites her. Not even Tilia, who she thought she was close to. So, like, that's kind of like...
What the heck? Why am I not invited?
And Brielle tells her that a few men have gone missing in Trio. Mm-hmm.
Just a few?
Just a few. Yeah, and it always comes back to Elisaria. We talk about this at least once a chapter. She's starting to think it's a myth. Her father wants all this information in Elisaria, and no one's ever, like, they act like it's not even going to ever happen. They're never going to get there.
Yeah, where is it? She
questions what makes a monster sick. Was that why there was green blood coming from the marrow wheel and the grizzer?
Must be.
Yeah. And after all this, she's like, you know what? I'm sick of asking questions. I'm going to get out of here.
Yeah.
I'm just going to like bounce right out of this treehouse.
It's time.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
And in 26, we plan that. And Brielle and Jocelyn are like, I don't think this is a good idea. Like, it's like dangerous. Like, who do you think you are? Kind of thing.
Just take a minute. Like, do you really have to leave? right now. We just got here in this cool freaking treehouse library
World.
place.
Yeah, well, they burned the library down. But yeah,
I know.
and so, quote, that girl had been stifled and smothered, hidden except for those stolen moments of bravery. It was time to let her stretch her wings and fly.
Mm.
So I do believe like this journey that Odessa's on is in many ways, it's multifaceted. And she just she knows that she's never going to feel love. She says that to Brielle, which is really sad, but she'd settle for confidence and trust and a little faith that she's not entirely useless.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
That hit.
I know. Isn't that sad?
Yeah, poor thing. The
Yeah.
heck.
So she just felt like a bug locked up in a glass jar.
The symbolism.
I know. There's really good symbolism in here.
Yeah, I gotta say.
So she's plotting to go to a town close by called Ashmore. It's where merchants delivered supplies back and forth, and there's a supply wagon. And she's trying to avoid, obviously, she can't let the Guardian know. And Brielle helps her out here. She dresses in clothes that appear to be just someone that would go into town, like maybe even one of the handmaidens.
Drab.
Dra-
That's the word I can
dresses.
use. Drab dresses.
Drab dresses. And Brielle helps her out here. She needs a ride into Ashmore. Can she ride with you? And he's like, I guess. Get in.
Get in.
And the ride felt endless. It was uncomfortable. She really does not like the road, being on the road, Odessa.
I don't blame her.
It's not her thing.
It's a lot.
Not her thing.
If you don't like it, you don't like it.
But she feels a sense of freedom from her restraints.
Mm.
You know?
You gotta pick one or the other. If you want freedom, sometimes you gotta get on the road.
Yeah.
That's a hard thing to battle.
Yeah. And when she made it into the town, she finds that the streets are narrow, the buildings are separated by cramped alleyways, and it's just different than anything that she's ever seen before. And she walks by and sees a sign for the inn. She's like, hey, that's where I want to be. But, of course, she hears a laugh that she knows all too well.
She thought she was alone.
She definitely thought she was.
She definitely thought she was alone, and here we go.
Here we go. But his attention is not on her.
No. This is where she kind of gets a little jealous.
You think?
Yeah.
He's got his eyes and ears and probably everything locked on this blonde.
She says it with such, in the audiobook, she says it with some force.
Yeah.
So, just having fun with your blonde.
So she claims there was no jealousy. It was annoyance.
Ooh, I guess to me, that's the same thing.
I know.
Let's be honest.
And she's like, hey, she gets to the inn and she's like, I think I'm going to book a room, but can you bring my meal up to me? Bring it on up.
Little room service?
Yeah.
What's she getting up there?
Yeah. And so she flings her door open thinking she's going to relax after this long trek. And what do we see but the Guardian? And we've got a, hello, my queen. And 27, his gaze turned molten silver. And we know what that means. He's mad. Very, very mad. And don't even think about leaving.
Don't you dare. What the heck were you doing?
What are you thinking?
Seriously?
And she does say sorry, even though I don't know if she really means it. Because she's like, hey, I didn't even want to be married. And he just said, listen, people die every single day in Tura. This is not Quintus. People spend their entire lives in this kingdom, and they're better equipped to deal with the dangers than a spoiled princess.
Mm-hmm. Spitting some truth a little bit?
Yeah. And she's just like, hey, I just wanted to explore my new kingdom.
Okay. Tell me the truth.
Yeah. And he says, you can't do this. We need to return back to Trio. And she's like, no.
How about a no?
Big fat no. And she didn't ask to be married to a stranger, shipped across the continent, to live in a treehouse. Although, it sounds really good. The treehouse part. Maybe not the monsters, but she said she will not go quietly into a cage. That must have been intense on audio, into a cage.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. It's very good.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't groove on some of the audio. But this one, I'm liking it.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
And he just, he's like, okay, I can understand that. Like, I can sympathize with that. And he's like, why didn't you just ask? And she's like, huh?
Yeah, I could have asked this whole time.
He states, haven't you always been granted your every request? Hmm.
Mm,
She,
now that I think about it,
yeah, I
yeah.
mean, other than being forcefully married, yes.
Well, you can't win them all, I guess.
We've got a really good quote here. Did you ever stop to think that maybe the door to your cage has always been unlocked, Sparrow, and all you had to do was push it open?
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when we like put our dog out. We put Finn out. Like sometimes I don't put the leash on, but he still thinks that he has the leash on.
I know. He doesn't realize. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's just at this point thinking of all the things that can go wrong. Like, what will happen to Jocelyn and Brielle if she were to send them home without any information? What about her father? Like, there's just so much that's riding on her shoulders. She wants to be able to stop the crux. This is what her father has said will be the answer here. She has to do it. She has to do it.
Hmm.
That's what she just has in her head.
It's a slippery slope, whatever way she goes here.
See, I was kicking my feet when I was reading this because I'm like, oh, one room in the
Oh.
inn. I'm so excited. But we've got, you can either have the bed without the pillow or the floor with it. Your choice, Cross. I'm like, oh,
Wow.
huh.
Disrespectful, if
I
you
mean,
ask
she is
me.
married, but
But still, like, you don't just offer her the bed.
well, he did. He said, you get your
Just
choice.
you give the. I would just be the guy that's like, I'm gonna sleep on the floor.
But we've got this. The guardian leaned closer, so close I could smell leather and wind and spice.
Ooh.
Unless, of course, you want me to sleep with you.
Ooh, here we go.
Here we go. One more time. So, she's just curious, how in the world did you find me? And he's like, there's one full in all of this town.
Yeah.
And your hair isn't subtle. And he knows that her hair is not brown. It's red. Like,
Yeah.
he's not dumb.
She's like, did I diet good enough?
No, he smells it.
He smells. That's right.
It's like that hair dye stinks.
You know, I forget how good these magical men can smell.
That's true. Magical men.
They just got a good nose.
Yeah.
Nose for it.
So we've got a little note left in chapter 28. And she wonders in her head, well, was he having a rendezvous with the blonde? She can't get over it.
Ugh.
She can't get over this blonde.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. She didn't care. Oh, okay. Okay.
Big lie.
Okay, Desi. And she noticed that the library there also had been burned.
All right. That's enough.
Sick of it.
We are sick of
You're
this.
sick of it. And then why on earth are we walking through this town and we seeing everyone from Trio at this point? Here's Kathleen.
Yeah, they're all
Here she
here,
is.
apparently. It's the
Yeah.
place to be, I guess.
Apparently.
You know, it's probably kind of tiring at Trio.
And Kathleen was visiting a lover, but
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lover. But it didn't, like, they couldn't really line it up. Didn't work. But she does tell, quote, Odessa, as irksome as he is, it's wise to listen. He is sworn to protect you. And she's like, huh? He is?
Huh?
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 So, then she tells her a little bit about these tunnels that kept some people safe during the last Crux migration. Not all, but trying to explain their world, like the monsters that they deal with. Because let's be honest, like, her father didn't really deal with much in Quintus. It sounds like it was very guarded. I'm very curious about this.
Yeah, like he's kind of lazy.
Yeah.
And they have to work. Like they're like working.
Yeah. They're workers.
Yeah.
And Tura.
Work is for workers.
And that's what they're doing. And she's just wondering why Ramsay did all this, like asking Kathleen, do you know anything about this? And all she said was, it's because he's lost his mind. I don't have a better explanation. That's it.
I think that's the best one you can have right now.
Yeah.
A little bit, maybe.
And we're just talking about the library, and you know, the villagers do the best that they can to stand watch against the crime, like the things that happen, because that's another part that Ramsay has pulled troops. He's pulled soldiers. Like, why would he do this? And no one knows the answer to that. Kathleen's like, I wish I knew. I wish I knew. All of a sudden, she hears those familiar click sounds. And we know what's coming. Barrel wolves.
Uh-oh.
Yep. Yep. Chapter 29, we're hearing more and more of the clicks. And Kathleen is, run! Get inside!
Get inside!
Yeah. And, you know, she is scared. Like, Kathleen is scared, which is making Odessa scared. And,
Well, I mean, when someone's scared, I'm gonna be scared. Like, if you came yelling at me like that, like, run, get inside!
Yeah.
Oh my god!
And they had seen a woman earlier that day with gray hair wandering the streets for breakfast, and you know she is left there in the street, and Odessa's like, hello, should we help her? And she's like, she's on her own. Kathleen, brutal.
She's like, look, I came here for a date,
Yeah.
not this chaos. But let's get our asses out.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So she's
Sorry,
run,
lady.
run. They're running, and then who shows up?
The Guardian.
Yeah.
I literally put my hands together like, here he is.
Yeah.
He's here.
And the Guardian's screaming, you know, go inside, like hide, run.
Get out.
And he moved like the wind. Your favorite.
Yeah. He's swift.
He,
in many ways.
I wouldn't call him swift in some ways, but
What? Did I miss something? I think I missed something.
Well, it's just my assumption. And he's just like taking some of these monsters down. He's like, there you go. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We're seeing, though, that for some bizarre reason, these bear wolves want Mrs. Red Hair, Odessa.
They're onto her.
Yeah. And we see the curvy blonde. She's made a reappearance. And she throws them inside. Like, get in here. Get in.
She's got to be really good looking. Like,
why?
Odessa. Well, Odessa's very, like, upset.
Yeah. She makes a lot of comments about her.
This girl's good looking, and what are they doing together? I don't like this. Mm-hmm. She feels threatened.
Well, I don't know if she will for long. The bear wolf is just stalking. Just stalking and stalking. And, you know, outside we have the Guardian trying to fend off, like, so many of them. I think he's up against, like, probably 7, chain of 7. And she's like, I have to help. I literally have to help. And while she's attempting to help, all of a sudden the window crashes and a bear wolf flew inside and the blonde is done for. She's cooked. She is cooked.
I'm not laughing over her death.
You're not?
No, I just the fact that, like, I was like,
she's a problem.
She's a problem.
She's
and then, like, literally, like, 2 minutes later, she done.
She's a real used to be problem.
Yeah.
But then she realized, like, she's so worried about this blonde woman that she left the Guardian alone in the street. Yeah.
Yeah. And well, he's a man.
He's battling.
He knows what to do.
He is battling it, but he was like, he was going to die. Like, and he is like, whatever. And she, for some reason, finds a crossbow. Because why wouldn't she? Katniss.
Yeah. This is one thing. I love the book.
Yeah.
Why does every female character, why are they good with a bow? Why are they good at archery?
I don't know. I am.
I know you are. I've seen it in action.
Yeah, that's a little fun fact about me. In high school, we took an archery class, and I for some bizarre reason, I'm just like really good at archery. I grew up in a family of, it's like outdoor sports, and my gym teacher asked me to go to States, and I was like, no.
She declined.
I was nervous.
She declined going to States.
I'm introverted, okay? I'm scared.
But no, she's the real deal. Like,
I don't know.
When me and you practiced that one day,
yeah,
I got 0. You got 4.
I only ever like aim at a target, like as in like a fake target. I could never ever take out something living. No way.
Me neither.
Just fake targets.
Yeah.
So the Guardian is out there fighting for his life at this point, and she shoots her shot, not in the way that you think, with a crossbow. She took another aim, and she realized that this bear wolf has one eye. Just one. Where's the other eye? What the heck? And it was gone. She blinked, and he was gone.
Oh.
And the Guardian, you know, he had unnatural speed and grace. Of course he did. Of course he did.
Yeah.
He plunged the sword right through the bear wolf's chest.
Wham!
Wham. And, she's beside herself. Like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah, I
And
mean, her
she,
life was almost taken.
so was his.
And his, and poor blonde woman that she doesn't care about anymore.
And then we've got the bear wolf that haunted her inside that had killed the beautiful blonde woman, because we gotta, like, shout her out one last time.
Yeah, one last shout out.
It was barreling towards her, toward the window.
She kind of changed her tune. She's like, she
Yeah.
was beautiful, actually. Yeah. I'm sorry.
R.I.P. And he saved her life again.
Yep. This is what time? How many times has he done this?
It's countless. There are cuts on his face. Every injury of his was coated in that horrid green. Huh?
It's like gangrene.
And
they need band-aids.
He was just so angry. And of course the silver's back. Silvery eyes. And she's holding the crossbow, and she's got the tip of the bolt in his chest. And, and he said, do it.
Oh.
What?
I dare you.
He wanted her to. Pull the trigger. And he said, look at me.
Ooh.
And she saw the man. Saw the man she'd been verbally sparring with for weeks. This man was a monster. Dang. What's going on?
Yeah.
And
change the tune here.
We've got our final chapter. I'm so sorry if you've been listening all this time. Hopefully it's been entertaining. It's been entertaining for us. So we've got 30 heading in there. 17 people were gone, including the blonde woman who'd owned the tavern, Soraya. That was her name. Mm-hmm.
Too much.
I know. It is sad. And she's like, she kind of blames herself. Like, if I hadn't left, this wouldn't have happened, blah, blah, blah. She just thought Soraya would have never opened that door. She would have never been gone.
Yeah.
So, and then we've got a drunk guardian enters the chat.
Drunk.
He's slurring his words heavy. And just like, you're drunk.
I can smell it on your mouth.
What? No, literally. She just was telling herself, like, I am not brave enough to be the sparrow. He needs a bold woman, someone fierce. Probably someone like the blonde girl that she's going to bring up again 4 more times. And then she does. I'm sorry about Soraya. It's my fault. He's mad. Like, he's drunk and he's mad. Did you shred her spine with your teeth? I didn't realize you had such a vicious bite. I'll have to be more careful.
All right, buddy. Go sober up.
Yeah, and, he's just saying everyone here knows the risk of living here.
Yeah.
They know the risk, but she's just so upset. She can't get over this.
Yeah.
And she's in her head replaying everything that's happened. Like, why do these monsters, what's with the green blood? Like, are they sick? Blah, blah, blah. And what's wrong with them? She finally just straight out asks, what's wrong with them? And he falls asleep. Or no, he's quiet for a long moment, and he whispered, Lissa. And she's like, what the heck is Lissa?
Yeah, what is Lissa?
In silence, and he was asleep. And that's how it ends.
I know.
And that's where we're left.
I'm just like, okay, we gotta jump into this again soon. I gotta keep on reading, keep on listening.
Keep it moving. So what are our thoughts like right now? Like, a
lot of chaos.
Yeah.
Within 16
chapters? It definitely upped the intensity of the book. Like, there's so much that's happened.
Yeah, and like, it's not just the main characters. You get these little snippets from, Tilia, and then the little girl. Yeah. And it all comes together to be like in crucial moments from these other people. So I like that. I don't like when it's just dragging on and it's the same 2 people over and over. I mean, obviously the Guardian comes up a lot.
He appears in every scene.
He's got to, right?
Yeah.
He's got to be there to say those things.
That's, that's true. You don't know where it's going to go from here. You're going to be shocked, I believe.
You think I'm going to be shocked?
I was.
It's just going to, like, all of a sudden hit me. Like,
there's a lot that happens. Like, and I think the last podcast episode we record is going to be pretty crazy.
Ooh.
But we have to do our segment. Rob retraces.
Oh.
And you have to think of 2 additional tropes. That's what we do. That's our segment. If you didn't listen to the last episode, Rob is an expert in tropes now. LOL, no, he's not. He's learning them slowly, and he did guess one last time. But for each
Okay.
episode, I'm gonna ask him to retrace from what we've either 1 through 14 or 1 through 13, 14 through 30, all the 30 chapters we read. What tropes can he identify in this thrilling edition of Rob Retraces?
All right. I don't know what to call this one, but what is there a trope with like a trainer? Because it's always a good-looking man training a woman.
Yeah,
Is it like is it is it just forced proximity because they're like having to do the training?
that's a good one. Like forced proximity in general. Like she thinks she's trapped in her treehouse,
Yeah, the treehouse,
and
and
he's
then
always there.
and then they went to the only inn.
Yeah, an
So,
inn, but they're one bed.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
there's one bed, but they chose
it wasn't. It
to.
wasn't the normal one bed
Yeah,
situation, I suppose.
yeah. It
It
got you
wasn't the
thinking
like.
it was gonna be, and then they're like, we'll keep it
Mm,
PG today.
maybe not. Yeah, for real. That was good. That was good. I'm waiting for one. I want to see if you ever come up with it in this like whole course, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. But I have one in my mind that I'm like, oh, he's going to say it. He's going to say it. There's two big ones that hopefully you'll gather by the end of the 4 episodes. But yeah.
I don't
So
know.
again, we've been talking quite a while. So I think we're going to try to wrap this up. But it's
Yeah.
been fun, and hopefully the chaos that has ensued so far has been a thrill a minute for you all. And we're going to continue on, and
Yeah.
it's going to be 4 full episodes, and it'll end right before 4th of July. And for those of you that are tuning in, we probably will take a break for 4th of July and decide on what book we'll do next, if anyone is even listening. Are you out? Are
Are
you
you
out
out
there?
there? Can you
Et.
hear us?
Yeah, et phone home. So yeah, we're gonna kind of decide on that, take a break for 4th of July, and
Yeah.
maybe jump into another book. Maybe we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll
This
see.
has been fun
But
though.
it's been
So
really fun doing this one, and I love reading along with Rob, and hopefully you love listening to us talk back and forth to each other like Looney Tunes. Um, yeah, so again, this is us taking apart chapters 14 through 30 of Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry,
good stuff.
which is really, really good. And again, we're signing off the Dropbook Murphys. I'm Jackie,
I'm Robert.
and we'll see you next time.
See ya.